So that task would be conducted with you all today. I'll be sharing a video. I'll give you time to watch it, 5 minutes, watch it. It's very easy, interesting, and easy to understand. That is what I have kept, And after that, I'll be sharing a link with you all. Okay, so you will just fill in the responses and send. Okay, right? And if you feel there's any doubt at all, you can keep a screenshot for your record, but don't send me screenshots of all the responses that you have done. So I'll be having it in my Google Drive. Okay, so I can check who all have done it. So please, here, all of you be ready. 2 o'clock is the time when I'm going to start sharing with you all, or maybe before it, 5-10 minutes before that, I will share. Okay, so please be alert. And those who miss it, they will get 0 for their internal assessment. Am I clear? Right, this is part of your assessment. This is your what your subject enrichment activities. Yes, Ragveer, what do you want to say? What do you want to say? Yeah, please turn on your video, ask a question. Turn on your video. Turn on your video and you can ask me the question. Or you can text me if you want to. Right, okay, so he's not asking me anything, he just raised his hand. So you can please lower your hand if you don't have any question to ask. So today we're going to, I have discussed the things that have to be done, right? And yes, Ragveer, what is your question, please? Ask the question. You type it over here, you just send me that text here, okay? Turn on your video and ask me the question. If you have any doubts regarding this. Any doubts regarding a listening task? Do you have any doubts? No? Yes? No doubts. Over there, anybody has any doubts? No, we don't have any doubts. It's quite simple and clear. So 2 o'clock, I'll be sharing the video and the link, and you have to just watch the video, then write down the answers in the Google form. Have you attempted Google form before? Have you done your answers on a Google form? So you know how to do it. Okay, so it should not be. Listening test would be on a Google form, right? So you just have to, because it is convenient for you also, right? So you can just do that. But of course, your tests would be written only, subjective as well as objective. So be prepared for both kinds, okay? Now we start with the revision of the best Christmas present, and I have to do it again because what happened? Wait. That because you people did not appear for the test. So don't say that, ma'am, we have discussed it here. So we just go through it. So what is the best Christmas present in the world? What is it about? Yes, can someone tell me? The screen has froze. I think so. There's some problem. There's some error, network issues. Again, now I'm moving. Right, so everything is all right. Yeah. So best Christmas present in the world. What is it? What do you want if you were to ask for a present? What would you want to have? Riches or lots of good clothes, right? A beautiful home. What would you want? What would you want if you had it as a you had a choice to ask for a present? What would you ask for? Yes? A personal library. Okay. Right. So that's very nice. So we have someone is there asking for a personal library. That is maybe the first time I've ever asked a child asking for that. So very good. Good way. Yeah, I love this person. And so when we are there, you expect here presents on your birthday, on festival seasons, and Christmas also you want, and you expect something very nice, right? But sometimes things happen which give you so much of unexpected happiness, right? And it was there. Can anybody just tell me? I'm not going to read the whole chapter again. I'm just going to just give a short idea about it, a very brief idea about it. Now, how did this happen? Who is the story about? It's about this lady, what's her name? Connie. And her husband? Yes. And what did Jim do? He was a soldier, he was in the war. And when he was in the war, what would he do? He would write letters to his wife and describing what is happening. And one among the last letters maybe that he wrote, what was it? It was about how they celebrated Christmas. And they were at war with the soldiers, right? Which soldiers were they? The German soldiers, right? And so they were there on, you can say, what, firing at each other. But they stopped that war. When? Which day did they stop it? Christmas, because they wanted to celebrate it, right? And each of one of them wanted to stop. And yes, so it was that day. How was it so special, and how was it different from other days? How was it such a special day? What was so different about that? Yes? Yes, so two enemies are celebrating Christmas. And you know what, when we think about people who are living in other countries, or we think about people as our enemy, we think of them as entirely different from us, right? That they are not humans, they don't have feelings, or they don't have emotions. But here, soldiers who are there putting their lives, and they know that once this day is over again, they'll be fighting at each other, right? So they just forgot all the differences. They forgot that a war is happening, and they had a good time together. So sharing the food that they had and playing football. And yes, even they thought that this is how solutions should be found to such conflicts. You know, you should have a game, right? And yeah, this is how, instead of leading to so much of loss of life, right? And that was when Jim wrote that very beautiful letter, right? So it was written, which World War was it, the first or the second? Yes, what is the setting? What is the date on the letter? All of you look at the date of the letter. Is it there? 1940. So it was the Second World War we're talking about. So Jim's last letter received was 1915. That was when that is the First World War we're talking about. Okay. So, right. So yes, so he wrote this letter to her, and yeah. And did he come back from the war? No, Jim did not come back from the war. And what happened to his wife, Connie? So she grew old waiting for him, right? Waiting for his return. And what happened to her house? It got fire. Yes, there was a fire there. And in that fire, many things were destroyed. And as a result, what happened to Connie? Where did she have to be shifted? Yes, a nursing home. She was shifted there. And what happened to her furniture? What happened to that special desk that she had? What was so beautiful about the desk? What was there about the desk, you know? Yes, there was a roll top desk. Yes. And right, so it was that desk on which letters could be written. There was a drawer also, and there was a secret compartment also. Yeah. So people, they have these secret compartments. Where do you have secret compartments? Only in drawers, boxes you have in your almirahs and safes. Some people have, you know, like, yes, so yeah, sliding walls also they have. So they put a big painting over it so people can't see that, and they'll move it, and there's a vault, and they have that special code, or right, or some secret opening is there which people can't see. Some people have it in the ground also, right? So there's a particular tile which they know that, yeah, you pick it up. It might be a secret passage, or it might be somewhere they have buried their family treasure and all. So earlier, of course, people had these ways of keeping their things safe. And do you think they were effective, such ways? Yes, they were, right? Naturally, they were able to keep their things safe. And why do we have to have these secret compartments and secret spaces? When we don't want to share something, so I go hide it somewhere. I dig a pit, you know, so deep, and I go and hide something over there. I don't want to show it to anybody. No. Or is it when you want to save something or hide something which is very precious, right? So people, they would bury their jewels also, right? Important things there, put them in a box and put it there in that safe compartment or in that safe hiding place. Am I correct? Okay, I'm getting so many responses. So let me check. Yes, so yeah, you can. You have privacy there for your important papers. You can save over there. Yes, absolutely correct. Now, what had happened to that? Because Connie had left her home. She was in the nursing home. And so in the fire, there was a lot of damage. So one of the important pieces of furniture that they had was a desk, right? And with the passage of time, what had happened to the desk? Was it in a good condition? Was it in a good condition? No, it was not. And naturally, so if Connie had been there at home, she would not have been able to mend it or take care of it. So it was not in a good condition. Even the paint coming off, the top also damaged, the leg quite clumsy, isn't it? Right? And but there was this man and he bought it, right? So in spite of the shabby condition, and he began to work on it. And as he was working on it, so he was there, like, of course, painting it and repairing it. Then what did he find? What did he find there? He found that the drawer would not move. And when he did take out the drawer, yes, it immediately revealed a secret space. And when he saw that, there was a letter. And that was a beautiful letter. What was the content of the letter? What was written on the envelope? Something so touchy and so emotional was there written. It was Jim's last letter, which was received in 1915, right? And of course, what was the request of the receiver? That it should be buried with me. And generally, we do try to fulfill the last wishes which a person has made. And Connie had made this last wish that this letter should be buried along with me. And because why was that letter so important? Why was it? It was the last letter. After that, she never received any letter from him. She kept on waiting for him. And imagine, that, yes, your near and dear one, they've gone to war and they're never going to come back and you're never going to see them again. And so it's a very terrible feeling, isn't it? It's a very sad feeling. So Connie wanted that letter to be with her always. But because she was also maybe injured in the fire, she had to be shifted to the nursing home. She could not take her belongings. So the desk was also left behind. And in that desk was one of her very, very important letters. Now, yes, so did this young man read the letter? Yes. And he read it. And of course, is it a good thing to read someone's letters? No, it's not a nice thing here, yeah. So we should respect others' personal space. We should respect their privacy. Okay, and yes, what has been described in that letter beautifully about the Christmas morning? What did Connie given for him? Yeah, for the celebration. No, she had made something for him? Yes? What did she make? Yeah, marzipan. So right, she had made these sweets for him, right? And yes, and so they had shared them with the Germans, right? And of course, here they learn so many things about each other, like, yes, so it is not that the Germans, they keep on having beer and sausages, right? And that person here who met him, he knew other languages also. He knew about the place which Jim belonged to because he had read about it in books, isn't it, right? And so what else does he learn about the German soldier, right? Jim also learns about the German soldier, that he's like us, he has a family and he likes to play the cello, right? And yes, so he also celebrates Christmas like us. So it was a beautiful day and they celebrated that, and how they put their coats aside and the goal was made and how they had a good time, right? And of course, that time there was no enmity, there was no difference, and there was nothing separating them. So how did Connie receive the letter? How did Connie get a letter back? Yes? Yeah? So how did she get the letter back? The address was written over there? Yes? And he drove over there and then he found that the house had burnt down. And yes, so that Connie had been shifted to a nursing home, isn't it? Right, so he's there. And what else there about how they celebrated? They sang hymns also on Christmas, and they shared all this. It was like a normal ordinary Christmas celebration, which has been described in detail in the letter. And how the German soldier, like, of course, right, he has also read about this place, how he knows about the English writers. He's read the books also. So it shows that, see, just because you are fighting a war with someone does not mean that you don't know who those people are. Does not mean you hate everything about them, right? You consider them as your enemy always. So they realize that across the boundaries, across the border, we all are the same. We have families, we have our little habits, things that we like to do. And yes, so we want peace. We don't want to lose our near and dear ones, okay? But then, of course, here, so sadly, Jim did not come back, right? It was the, yes, so then what happened to the letter? How did she finally get the letter? So the narrator went there and gave the letter. Yeah. And right, yes, she got the letter. But what about her? Was she a young lady? What had happened to her? She was about 100 years old. So she was an old lady. And yes, yeah, she was there in the nursing home with other people, and she was taken care of. Just a minute. So, right, so here it has been described that how the lady there sitting right in the chair, and what are the things that happen to people with the old age? What problems do older people have? She seemed to be, she's quite an old lady, right? You become weak, you're not able to walk properly, right? Yes. What, your eyesight becomes weak, memory also? Does your memory remain sharp? No, right? So memory also, right? So all these here, and here it is. Let us just read this one. We'd love to read about the expression that how she must have felt so happy when she got this Christmas present. Look at this line here. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair. All of you, look at the passage paragraph. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. She had silver white hair pinned into a wispy bun. So like it's not very tidy done, hair coming out. She was gazing out at the garden. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. Vacantly, she's not able to recognize, Happy Christmas, Connie, I went on. I found this. I think it's yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. Earlier, she did not recognize, she's wondering, who's this man who's come to see me? But when she saw the box, so it immediately was a recognition, right? And when she opened it, of course, the letter inside, she was able to recognize that she had those memory. I explained about the desk, how I found it, but I don't think she was listening. What was she concentrating on? What was she more concerned about? The letter, isn't it, right? For a while, she said nothing but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. Suddenly, she reached out and took my hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you'd come home by Christmas, dearest, she said, and here you are. What a coincidence, isn't it? Right? So he had promised that he'll be back by Christmas, and he's there, although it was many, many Christmases later. And of course, it was not Jim who came back, right? So suddenly, and her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you'd come home by Christmas, dearest, and here you are, the best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim, dear, sit down. And so what is the best Christmas present in the world? Now we know where the title of the story comes from, right? So what was the best Christmas present? The letter, which she had saved, which she had read so many times. and the letter that she wanted, it should be buried along with her. So that was the best Christmas present. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheek. I read your letter so often, Jim, every day. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. It always made me feel you were with me. And now you are. Now you're back. You can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim, dear? I just want to hear your voice again. I'd love that so much. And then perhaps we'll have some tea. I've made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan all around. I know how much you love marzipan, right? So she is there. So it seems as if every Christmas she had been making Jim's favorite things and waiting for him to come. Because when did he say he would return? Christmas, right? So beautiful story, full of emotions. And yes, here. But one thing here, we have discussed the questions here. We've discussed the questions. I think so. We have discussed all the exercises also, right? Go through the back exercises. And if you want, we can discuss these also. I think so. I've done them. Yes. So just go through your books. We have done them. If you have not written them, I'll tell the answers also again to you all. Now here, one thing, please do the reading of the chapter. Because we are doing a mixed test, so you might get multiple choice questions also. So make sure that you read everything thoroughly, right? So reading is very, very important. And go through the back exercises. And if possible, go through the exercises which are dealing with the topics that we have discussed. Like we have done narration also, we have done voice also, done adverbs or tenses, whatever it is there, okay? Right, your linking verbs and your complements. So all this, which is here, okay, right? So anyone, any doubts here regarding this chapter?